Welcome! Check it out. Minecraft. Voltz. I'm in the spawn of my server, or our server, or everyone's server. There's nobody on right now, just me. And I have my coordinates turned off, but I have the minimap on. So if you're clever, you can figure out where I am. But if you're not clever, then oh well. Started out with a couple things, and looks like somebody's put some stuff here, because looks like we're allowed to build on spawn, but we're not allowed to destroy blocks. Strange, I think. Otherwise, there are blocks here. I've started myself with a couple things to make things a little quick. I've got the crate, and crates can store items in them. And so instead of filling up my inventory with items, what I've done is put some stuff into crates, and you can see crates. I won't put one down here because I won't be able to pick it up again. But crates, if I press R on it, whoop, not that, crates right like this. Right there. Pretty easy. Steel and some sticks. They are an amazing storage device, and they give you some slowness if you pick them up, and depending on how much is in there. So I'm walking a little slow. Gave myself some seeds and a wrench, because the wrench is valuable, so valuable. It's actually one of the first things you should make. So I did. Got some bread, torches, a lot of wool. You're going to need a lot of wool. But I'm going to start myself off with this stuff, and I'll show you some effective ways to get it. You guys know how to grab this kind of stuff. What's in the chest? Nothing. You guys know how to get that kind of stuff, foraging. That's basic Minecraft. So that's not what I'm going to show. I'm going to show us on a journey. A journey through the spawn area. And I got to figure out how to get out of here. So let's see. Once I find a spot to get out of here, I'm going to start building. If you saw the last episode, you know that my goal is to build a floating base. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting up a Captain Carnage-esque air base, where it's going to be something kind of like, well, a base, like I said, a base, with kind of like a helicopter situation to allow it to stay off the ground. It looks like I can destroy blocks here too. Or maybe the spawn area is really small. Doy. Alright, let's just get out of here. Let's nerd pull it out of here. Like I was saying, I think what it's going to do is either be one room or multiple rooms. One maybe large room or multiple rooms. We'll have to see how it goes. And then kind of like for decorations, a helicopter prop on top, making it look like it's floating in space. But first of all, we need to get a base set up on the ground before I can even begin to do that. So let's walk around a little bit. Let's see if we can find a good spot. Let's not die, but I have some bread, so it should be okay. I'm walking kind of slow because of the crates. We got to find a good space to call home. I want to get a little bit further off. I was hoping to see if I could find some maybe a snow biome to set up in, because a snow biome would make it a little easier to hide my base, because then I could just put snow on top of it, and then Ray's minimap would just show snow. Would you look at this? You'd think this is kind of like a snow biome. Well, actually, this is the aftermath of a nuke, and possibly also, oh yeah, this is definitely the aftermath of a nuke. You can take a look at my minimap there. Yep, this is definitely a nuke. You can see the devastation. There's been several wars on this server. A lot of bomb testing as well. Massive hole in the ground. We won't build our base in a crater. We're going to build our base a little bit better location-wise. So let's journey off this way. I'm going to keep traveling. I don't want to get stuck in an ocean biome, so let's go on this way a little bit. Cruise along the beach here, and see if we can stay out of trouble. Alright, I'm going to cut and come back once I find a snow biome. Great. I've come through the forest and found a snow biome. Just in time, too, because it's starting to get nighttime. Daytime. And so we're going to dig a little holy hole in the ground here. Got to make some tools. Got some cobblestone that'll work. I've also got the ability to make it out of other metals. When you start out at Voltz, the first thing, absolutely first thing you want to do is establish a underground base, because then while you're in your infantile stages, people won't find you. Best thing to do is to build underneath a tree. That way people don't see your hole from the sky. So here I am in a pretty cool little snowy biome. I think this is taiga or whatever, and there's some sheep nearby, so that'll be great. This is going to be a good hole right here, so I'll come back once I build a little tiny underground base. Okay, got a quick little place. Alright, we're going to take care of some of the basic needs. What I'm going to do is probably make a sheep farm this way, and the food farm over this way, and this is going to be the main entrance. There is a hole, a secret way in. I didn't show that, so if you're watching and you are a clever person, you still figure out where it is, you won't be able to find the entrance. Ha ha ha, he, and such. So let's put down some crates. They look amazing. If you've ever played Feed the Beast, this is going to look very familiar, like barrels, except these are even better because they say the name. And then they're also worse because you can only grab a stack of items at a time. The way they work is after you craft them, you place them down. Very simple. You can pick them back up again with a wrench, like so. And if you check this out, you'll notice that they tell you how much is in there, and it has a little picture of it. If you shift-click on the bottom with an open hand, that's very important. If I do it with a pickaxe, nothing happens. Shift-click, it gives you a stack. Okay? If you shift-click with the stack in your hand, it puts it back in. What's important is the location that you shift-click. If you shift-click underneath this rung here, this one is just at the top you can see, you'll get a stack, and you'll put away a stack. But if you shift-click at the top, above that rung, bam, you get the entire contents of that barrel. And if it doesn't fit in your inventory, it just drops it on the ground. And it does the reverse. If you hold down shift and you click there, it puts it all back. I'm sorry, not shift. You just right click. And there you go. So shift click to get it out, right click to put it back. Pretty cool. It's a good way to store a lot of a certain type of item very densely. And also you can pick them up and transport. There's been a serendipity here too because I found some silver. If you're ever connecting up your machines, you want to use silver wire, not copper wire, because that would be a serious waste of a very valuable resource. And I'll get to why that's such a valuable resource soon enough. So let's put down our chests, clean out our inventory, and then we can get to working. The first thing we want to do is some of the basic machines, like a generator. The best kind of generator is known as a heat generator, as you can see right here. That's arguable. I think the heat generators are the best because they're very cheap and they're very easy to make. And also, they have a way to generate unlimited amounts of power if you have access to lava. So, first thing we want to do is, make this room a little bit bigger. And I got some string with me, so I'm going to need to convert that into wool as well, because who needs to fish? Come on. Alright, be right back. Okay, we're back, and, well, we got it a little bit further along. Good practice for sheep is to make sure there is grass for them to eat and hang out with. I'm going to probably make this wall a little bit thicker that way and make some indentations to remind me. Just so it's nice and square and even and cool. But what I did was I made dirt stairs, and you can see it's actually already starting to progress this way. The key is to already meet up with grass that already exists, and then to heavily light the area that you want the grass to go. So just like so. It has to be very well lit and has to be well lit all along the path. It also grows a lot faster the wider the path is, so this will take quite a while. Well, we've got quite a while. On to the next room. In the next room, I've got a wheat farm set up, and this wheat farm is set up for... What happened here? I guess I've been jumping around. Does this hurt the wheat? No, it doesn't. No, I don't know what happened then. Like I said, basic wheat farm is a good idea to anticipate automation. There are ways to automate the wheat farm. One of them is putting a piston with water behind here to sweep out all the wheat once it's done and grown and happy. Really? You're well watered. What is going on here? And then have a conveyor belt on the backside there picking them all up. So, fun times will be had. On this server, a quick hint is to do this. Set home. Right? Because then that sets the location that you're currently at as your home base. Then you can always type /home and you can go straight back to where you were, or your home base. It's a good way to get yourself A, out of trouble, and B, well, home very quickly, especially while you're mining. Not every server is going to have this, but ours does, so it's a very nifty thing to do. So like I said, we were going to make a heat generator. One of the easiest ways, because it can be used as a coal generator as well as a heat generator. Which means you can just plop it down into lava and get energy, or you can just fill it up with coal or whatever kind of heat source you want. Platinum, enriched iron, it's easy enough to do. You can use these rich alloys, but that's kind of expensive. I'd rather just use dust, but since we have no way of making dust right now, we kind of have to go the expensive route. So we're going to grab some redstone, we're going to grab some iron from our trusty iron thing, and I like putting inset crafting tables into the ground, so let's get a couple of these, because we're going to need a lot of these guys. First of all, let's get the alloy, enriched iron. We're going to make as many heat generators as we can. In fact, it looks like we're going to be able to make 6. I hope. Let's see what it takes. The world is saving. Very good. So we have enough. We're going to have some enriched left over. We need 3 platinum. I somehow magically found some. I'll be getting into mining tips later. How to effectively mine. And we'll talk about automation and mining as well. I'm sure that's one of the biggest questions. How do I get mining things better now? Whoops. Didn't mean to grab all of them. There we go. Okay, I think we got all the ingredients. So let's go here. Click the item you want. Click the question mark so it fills the crafting area. And bada bing. So let's fill this up like such. And make sure the timer's going so I don't make a 2-hour long episode. And bam, heat generators. We'll make 6 of them to start out with because the more of these, the merrier. They stack very easily, and by stack I mean you can place them next to each other. Next thing we want to make is a enrichment chamber. That's the way that you double your ores, if you can spell. Ta-da! Oh man, look at this recipe. Not so bad. You already know how to make the enriched alloys, redstone, and a block of steel. To make a block of steel requires steel, as you can see. We'll move over here. R allows me to see the recipe. Making steel is pretty easy. There's actually a couple ways. This is the Railcraft way. You can make a blast furnace and make this particular item set. In fact, let's look at them all. There's a couple different ones. Steel. You can make a lot of things out of them, too. So there's a couple different kinds of steel. As you can see, here's steel bar, this one. This is the Railcraft one. You make it in a blast furnace. That's probably not what we're going to get into because it's kind of difficult. The next one is making steel dust. This is done by using a metallurgic infuser and making these enriched iron like we made earlier and putting in this metallurgic infuser and making steel dust. It's pretty nice because it's a good way to automate it, but it's not the most efficient way because these enriched irons are kind of expensive. See what I mean? But it's a way you look at it, because check it out. You get 4 of these, which means you get 4 steel out of 3 different items. And there's a way to take 1 iron ore and turn it into 2 dusts. So once you do that, then you're basically getting this. So it's not that expensive. Then there's another way. This is the way you do it before you even have the infuser. Steel dust. You just surround your steel with coal. You only get 1. So this is the most expensive way, but it's the only way you can do it without a machine, because you just put this guy in a furnace and you're done. It looks like you can also smelt things to turn back into steel dust, but I wouldn't do that. This is bad, very bad, because it takes 4 steel to make a steel plate, and you only get 3 back. So don't do that. Save your steel plates. They have lots of uses. So that's the tutorial on steel. Hope it wasn't too fast. Let's get back to enriching. Control circuits. There's a couple different kinds you can make, actually. This particular item, the enrichment chamber, looks like it only takes 1 kind of control circuit. This one. This one's kind of expensive. There's actually 2 different kinds of circuit boards, but we're going to get into them one at a time. This one's my least favorite, but you have to use it for this particular object. There's another one that's much better. So, we're going to need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these guys require 1 each. So I already have 2, so we're going to have to make... my crafting table's over here. We're going to have to make a couple more. So let's do this. Oop, miss. And let's grab as many of those as we can. We happen to have a lot of redstone, and so I don't mind wasting a little bit. And it's not really wasting anyways. Oh, look, somebody just joined. We'll say hi. He's a good guy. If you're on, say hi. Say Cracked said hi. And so back to work. Let's see what he is going to be doing, but we'll stick to what we're doing. Oh wow, a man of many words, I see here. Back to what we were doing. Oops, we want to craft this first. So we're going to need 2 of these guys. Let's throw 2 in there and just hold down shift, click, and it instantly crafts it and puts it down at the bottom so that we can get on to the next thing. Let's put this steel block. I believe it'll use any kind, but we'll find out. You notice I make as many of these rich alloys as possible. As you can see, in the starting recipes and in later recipes, it's used a lot. So we're going to have to figure out a room for our power. As of now, let's just get this set up the way it is. Let's go ahead and just put this enrichment chamber right here. Okay? There's a reason for that, and I'm going to show it to you. First of all, let's get our heat generators up at the top here. When you place them, the part where the power needs to come out faces you. So we'll get 3 of them up here just for now. Actually, we've got enough room. Let's put some more. Hold down shift to place them, because I'm going to show you what they look like on the inside. So these guys are cool. If all except the side where the power needs to come out is touching lava, they'll generate power. Otherwise, you can just throw coal, wood, things like that in here, and it'll burn it, just like a regular who's the what's it thing. So let's make some wires, shall we? There's a couple different kinds. These are all created with, most of these are actually with the electrical expansion. Don't use your copper wire for wiring, please. It's very inefficient. Use silver. It's more efficient, and silver doesn't really have much of a use beyond being turned into wire anyways. So I've got a little bit of silver right here. Silver is fairly common too, so, here it is. And let's go ahead and insulate it right away. You notice that you can make uninsulated wire, see that? It's not so bad. It hurts if you touch it. So it'll work great right here, now that I think about it. Looks kind of nice. Don't touch it while it's got wire going through it, because it will hurt you. It'll electrocute you. And I think the higher the voltage, the more damage it does. So we'll just make a couple more of these. We can insulate them later, but I'm not even going to be going back there. I'm just going to be hanging out here. All these machines have their own power battery charge-up thing. I guess you could say capacitor. In which case that'll fill up, and so you don't really need to put down a battery starting out, but it would be good to have a battery box, especially later on when I set these guys up to generate power while we're not here. But the reason I wanted to build the enrichment chamber is to double our ores. So let's grab a stack of coal. Let's just throw it in one of these guys. Let's throw 16 in there. You see it filling up, and you can see it filling up, creating some kilojoules of juicy juice. I'm not going to touch the wire because it will burn me. And you can see this already filled up. And this guy is going to fill up his battery as well. You see that? And here's the other interesting thing. Oop, there you go. I'm looking at this one right here. He gets also a nice little juicy juice filling up here. And you can see right there. Oh yeah. That's the output, 120 volts. That's actually the lowest one that most machines can accept. Very good. We are on our way. So let's throw in some ores in here. Probably the one we're going to use most coming up is going to be copper. So I'm going to go ahead and double this one. I'm not going to use all of them though, because I'll show you what I need that for later. Boom. Oh, it's so noisy. Pressing buttons. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn down the sound. Peace and quiet. So here you go. This is your first initial setup. It's very nice and very easy. But cracked disc, what do I do to smelt this stuff? I'm glad you asked. You can start with just your regular old furnace, but the best one are called smelting factories. Oh yeah, these guys are awesome. They use a lot of juice, and they're pretty complex, but they're not too bad. They're not too bad at all. Now, this basic one requires a gold dust, and then two kinds of basic circuits. You saw that one, but check out this one. This one's my favorite because it's the least, well, redstone usey. And it doesn't use platinum either, so it's pretty nice. Looks like Justin wants to talk. Nothing much. You? No thing much. That'll work. And hopefully Justin will say something nice. And nothing mean. Because we don't like being mean. Right. So, you notice this requires gold dust. Well, and threw up. Don't know why. Wow, Justin, what a day. We've got some gold. Let's turn it into gold dust. Another machine we're going to want to have some fun with is the crusher. Not so expensive either. Let's see if we can make it. Oh yeah, some buckets of lava. So I might have to run away, grab some buckets of lava and come back. But we'll see what happens. Pretty nice. So let's make some of the circuitry that I was talking about earlier. And we'll get to it. So first things first. We're going to have to grab some copper. And we've already got some wool. What else do we need? Steel plate and lava. Very good. Let's see, you got steel. Not the plate, the block. Very good. Alright, I'm going to grab the bucket of lava and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with lava. Alright, so let's hit the question mark. And, whoops, we got to make the control circuits first. I like these. These are very nice. You can see they take a plate on the inside, so it'd be good for us to grab some steel. I have some pre-made around here somewhere, and if I don't, then we're going to have to make some. Do-de-do-de-do-do-do-de-do-de-do. We do not. Wonderful. So let's make some. We need a steel plate, which means we're going to have to get 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Okay. And then we're going to make a furnace. Some very basic nonsense. Well, in fact, I'm going to cut that out as well, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Just had to get some little things done. So take the steel ingots, make yourself a plate. Take the redstone, put it around the side. But first, we have to make some wires. So let's go na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na-na. Now that makes 6. We're going to need a little bit more than 6. This isn't the most efficient way. There's actually a better way of even making wires beyond this. But you got to get it done. Okay, bam, bada bing, bada boom, and then we'll make 1. We're kind of short on steel and iron, so I'm not going to use it all up, and I don't want to keep running back and getting some. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the circuit the other way, because I got a bunch of this alloy, but I want to save it. So we'll make 1 of each. If you notice real quick that there was another type of wire here. This is the original wire, the one added with universal electricity. I recommend just using these right here because they're used in more recipes and they're very easy to, well, store if you keep all the same type of wire rather than using different kinds. Otherwise, they're essentially the same. So let's do this. Bam, bam. I think that's a iron steel block in the middle. Yes, it is. The 2 different types of steel block you're seeing is ones with railcraft and ones with... am I looking at this right? Yeah. One's with railcraft, one's with, I believe, either universal electricity or whatnot. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Crusher! Get your buckets back. Alright, let's put the crusher back here. These machines get their power from the back, so... like so. That looks ugly. Let's pick it up again. It's not like universal electricity. It's not like industrial craft. You don't have to worry about your stuff getting destroyed if you just pick them up. Let's grab a wire. I held down control right there before I clicked. That way I could pick up just 1. Carefully place. Very nice. Now we're all powered up. And you see it drained the juice out of this bottom right heat generator. That way it puts it in here. And as you can see, oh actually no, we're using it up for this one because we're still crushing this up. So let's put some more coal in here. Oh yeah, juicy juice. And now this one fills up again and it gets back to work. And now this one does too. Let's get the 2 gold crushed up. Turns it into dust. And then we can do our factory. I wouldn't bother with the universal electricity because there are 2 other machines that a lot of people do. If you type in generator, we'll see here the coal generator. Not so good. It's kind of on the inefficient side. It's also kind of expensive. The heat generators create unlimited power if you put them next to lava too, so that's way better. Then also there's the electric furnace, I believe it's called. Yeah, there it is. Also kind of expensive and not so good because it only can burn 1 thing at a time. Oops, I kind of gave it away. Why aren't you crushing? I think because all the power is being drained out. Why aren't you crushing? There you go. Oh, it was a glitch. Gotta watch out. We got glitches here. Alright, back to what we were doing. Fact. Alright, we're gonna need a lot more of these control circuits. We've run out of all our other resources, so we gotta make it do with these. Alright, so let's check it out. We need 2, but we also need 4 circuits. So if we need 4 circuits, alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that leaves plenty for that. So let's do this. Platinum. Platinum's not exactly rare. I mean, you'd think it was with a name like Platinum, but it looks like, kind of looks like emerald, but it's blue. So just so you know. As you can see, these are kind of expensive machines, but you want to get them ASAP because it really helps your work later on, doubling your ores and, you know, just making life easier in general. Hold down control, left click, pick up 1 of them, shift left click, it puts them down there, place here, and bada bing. All the juice now went into the smelting factory. Look at this thing. Alright. So we got all our machines in a row. And the enrichment chamber is basically a macerator or macerator. It basically crushes down ores. And you saw I got some experience from that too. Pretty nice. So this is basically a 3 furnace in 1. You place anything in the tops here and it smelts them. Look at that. The more you put up here, the more energy it uses, obviously. And if you've got batteries to boost your power, you can put it here. And upgrades go over here. Right. We'll have to get into upgrades because they're amazing. So if we type in up and we type grades, here's the MFFS upgrades. These are for your force field nonsense. Then you've got your speed upgrade, energy upgrade, and ultimate upgrade. They look like those guys right there. That little blue thing, the electric bolt, and then the arrow. You want the ultimate upgrade as quickly as possible. Speed upgrade, though, I think is the first one you want to go for. It's really nice, not too expensive, but it's very helpful. Super helpful. So let's just throw this in here. Since we can just leave it, it doesn't matter if it's in the first one. I mean, the speed upgrade like doubles the speed, and then the ultimate upgrade doubles it further. So things start happening like instantaneously. So let's throw the rest of this iron in there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not iron, that's copper. Iron, thank you. Silver cannot be enriched, just so you know. Now there's a better way to double your tin and copper, so I'm going to get into that right now. It's called a purification chamber. It's kind of expensive. You see right here the atomic cores it requires. See that? So we're not going to be able to get into that because it also requires an enrichment chamber as well. It does not replace the enrichment chamber. Repeat, it does not replace the enrichment chamber. It's a different device altogether, even though it's similar. What it does is it triples copper, tin, and platinum. Triples it, which is amazing. But you have to put it, the crushed ore, or the special ore that it makes, put it into a crusher, and then into an enrichment chamber, and then into a furnace. So we'll get into that, but that's kind of later game mechanics. So let's check on our grass. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Let's go over here. Oh yeah, as soon as we get some wheat, then we can really get going on the sheep farm. As you can see, wool's gonna go pretty fast. Right. Next thing we want to do is make a wire mill. That's another thing you want to move towards as soon as possible. It requires draw plates, motors, all kinds of crazy nonsense. Motors, not so bad. Steel and stuff. So before we get to that though, let's make that infuser I was telling you about. Yeah. Not so bad, right? Takes 2 furnaces, basic circuits, and some iron. So let's make some furnaces. Oops. Man, I can't wait till 1.5 comes out and I can just drag my right click all the way across this and get it done. Sigh. Alright, let's use up the last... Oh, I got 3. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Exactly. We're getting low on the platinums. It's fine. We'll go mining. I think in the next episode we might focus on mining techniques if we get through all the machines in this episode. But we'll have to see. Alright, infuser. Pretty simple. Goes right there, gets its power from the back. Whoa, don't touch the electric wires. Yeah, you want to insulate these as soon as possible, but I'm being kind of conservative with my wool supplies. So the infuser has two abilities mainly. Making steel and making bronze. Bronze is incredibly useful. You mix tin with copper, and you get that. You mix compressed carbon with enriched iron, and you get your steel dust. Right. So we need some tools. The first thing we want to do is start making some bronze tools. Check it out. You can make bronze everything, and bronze is amazing. You can make it using the infuser, just like I saw right there, or you can make bronze dust, which is pretty cheap. Well, not really. It's pretty expensive. You want to use the infuser. But bronze is used in so many things, and the tools are almost as good as diamond. That's a bit crazy, don't you think? Well, it is. It is quite crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the enrichment chamber, who is now finished. And we're going to have to grab some coal, and we're actually almost out, so in you go. And you see that guy provides a pretty substantial amount of power, just that little heat generator. And if I had them all running, we'd be in business. They provide a tiny amount of power, though, if you put them in lava. Like, itsy bitsy. They produce a lot more juice if you put coal in them, obviously. So this guy's about done with my iron dust. Come on. Ooh, let's put the silver in here, have that going. We might have to throw in the other coal here. Can't do that yet, though. I need to save some. Let's save 4 of them, and I'll show you what that's for in a little bit. Put them in here and watch what happens. We'll come back to that in a second and see what it turns into. And then throw the rest of the coal right in here. That way we get double the power. These things don't work faster if they have more power. They definitely work slower, though, if they're almost out of power. So you want to keep them juiced up. Juicy, juicy juice. Alright, the next thing we want to do is make some tin dust over here so we can get on the bronze production. I'm going to only take 6 of them in here because I don't want to use up all my copper and tin just yet, because I want to get that purification chamber going. Buddy. Guy. Alright, so let's put that back in my wonderful little cratey crate. I'm out of coal, it looks like, which means it'll be time to go mining. How are we doing here? We're doing pretty good. Let's divide this coal up between these two so that we can keep them both running. Since these guys have batteries in them, it's not so bad. These guys will turn off once their internal battery is full. You can see it goes over here. This slot is for a battery. If you wanted to put a battery in here, there's quite a few. They're pretty good, and they'll come in handy with later recipes. See this battery right here? Nah, not so expensive, you know? But they come in handy with later recipes, so we will be getting into those. Like making battery boxes. See these guys? They're good, but my favorite kind of battery boxes are the energy cubes. These guys are much better, because you can also pick them up and move them around, and they're quite a bit cheaper as well. Well, no, I get that. I take that back. They're quite a bit more expensive, as you can see with the energy tablets. Oy. But they seem to be less glitchy, in my opinion, and also you can pick them up, which is amazing. But I'll give you experience of both. Tin dust. Alright, you put the tin dust or the compressed carbon in the slot on the purple here. You see that? Fills it up. This little buffer right here. If you press dump, it'll clear out all this buffer here, which is nice if you want to use this metallurgic infuser for something else. Let's put some copper in here. We're going to make a whole stack of bronze because it comes in handy. So let's just, whoop, wrong. And you can shift click into these as well. And there it goes, working, working, working. Remember that coal? Compressed carbon. That's the compressed carbon. You just cook coal and you get compressed carbon. By the way, if you notice me sorting things like that, I'm just middle clicking anywhere in the blank spot here, and it will sort everything. And if I middle click again, it'll sort it in a different fashion. Middle click again, it sorts it in a different fashion. It just kind of cycles through. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking with fire. Let's put these guys back in there. Oh, we got some iron dust. Forgot about that. Alright, so in the enrichment chamber, we got anything else to enrich? Anybody else's lives that we want to enrich? No? No? Good. Very good. We're coming up to the end of the episode, so this might be a good place to stop because we got our bronze. But I'm going to show you one last thing before we go. It's called the paxil. It's exclusive to the Voltz mod pack. You're not going to find it in the other mod packs. It's pretty cool. It's basically a axe, pickaxe, and shovel in one. And also it has quite a bit longer life than each of the individuals. See, each one's 1,000, and you see it's 1,400. So if you were going to make a bronze pickaxe, and you're just going to use it for digging, or I'm sorry, digging up dirt, not dirt, cobblestone, you see this will last a little bit longer. So typically when I make a pickaxe, I make a paxil out of it, because that way it lasts longer as a single tool. Individually, you see they all last a little bit longer individually, because each have 1,000, but who wants to carry around 3 different tools? Come on. You want a paxil. Remember what I said earlier? It's almost as much as diamond. Look at this. 1,400 health. 1,561 health. This is so close. Why would you ever make anything out of diamond? Who knows? You can even mine obsidian with the bronze paxils as well. Oh, well, we got enough. Let's get going. We're going to need some more wood, which I have right here. Crafting time. Should be enough. Just divide it up. First, let's make the pickaxe. I'll put another ingot in there. Shift click, shift click. Next, the axe. Shift click. Then all we got to do is arrange it in some fashion. Da 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 da. Paxil. Oh yeah, pretty awesome. I'm gonna use up my iron one first, but making one out of bronze is way better because iron has quite a few more uses. If I mouse over and I press U, it shows me the uses of bronze. There's quite a few, but not as much as iron. So iron comes in much more handily than bronze does. So yeah, hold on to your iron, use your bronze. Another message from Crack Disc. This is really coming along. We ought to be able to move some sheep in here next episode. But thanks for joining me. We're coming up to the end. Check it out. We're playing Voltz. See you next time. Bye.